for everybody joining in today. So, a few weeks ago, I was talking accidentally about one of our new products, which is basically an AI writer. AI is kind of a new thing that's been around for a couple of years now, and people are always looking for ways to leverage the power of our future AI overlords for their own businesses to improve the efficiency of what they're doing. And this is no exception. So today I'm going to introduce kind of the process that we use for AI writing and the benefit that it's giving to some of our clients. Somebody's got a lot of background noise happening.
It could be me. I'll go figure out how to
Um,
do this.
yeah, I guess it was you. Thanks, Mike. So the whole idea behind AI writing is to enhance the volume of content that can be created, right? So AI writing has typically been pretty bad. I don't know if anybody ever saw the kind of hilarious examples on Reddit where they basically gave an AI like 1,000 different scripts. And actually, the most entertaining one for me was they gave the AI about 1,000 speeches from Donald Trump and had like the AI talk in a Donald Trump fashion, which is pretty amusing. So I have the things to say, and it was super amazing, and it was kind of hilarious. So like the power of AI has really advanced pretty significantly in the last little while to do some pretty impressive things, right? And so the reason that this is being so useful for us in particular, because we're an SEO company, is that there's three pillars of SEO. So there is the basics of what's on of like your website, how it's created, how it's designed, how it's optimized, like the actual on-page optimization. There's content itself, how many words, what do they say, how many images, how many videos, what does all this stuff say, and how well does it rank for in Google's eyes compared to what you're trying to rank for, right? And then the last segment is backlinks and how well connected your website is to other places on the internet. So AI writing is kind of a solution that we put together for our lack of content building for our clients. And so the traditional method for that happening normally is you hire a writer, they do a bunch of research, they actually do the writing, they edit it, they do rewrites if necessary, and then you actually get some posts. So that process is usually on a price per word instead of a price per article because of the length and depth depending on what you're doing, right? So I've talked to many different writers about this, and that's the typical way it's really been done. And what happens is it's usually time consuming, right? So it usually takes some time. I give you some stuff to go write about, a couple weeks later, at least in my experience, it's usually been about 2 weeks that I get the content that I need back. Because the research time actually takes a great deal of time. And so what we did is we took a couple of AIs, and one of them you're quite familiar with is called Jarvis, that actually does the writing. And then we took another AI that you may not be familiar with, but is actually the creation of one of the TRN members, which is called Ink for All. So basically what happens is it takes the articles that you produce and it looks at, all right, how well is this going to rank? So we took these two AIs, put them together, and then added in a third aspect and some of our own SEO juice, which is a VA. So what happens basically is we use the VA time to go and research all of the content that's going to be relevant to the client. The AI number one writes it all up, and the AI number two basically judges it in its AI AI fashion. Says, okay, are you going to do good with this or not? If it needs to be rewritten, goes back to AI one, rewrites it until we have something that is really good. And so what will happen if we go over time is that because you're using a higher volume of content than what your competitors can produce, that's based on the keywords that you're trying to rank for, this has a very visceral and powerful effect on what you rank for and how well you rank for it. And it's based basically on the deluge of content that's happening because SEO is a game of inches, right? So if you have 5 articles and I've got 6, but yours are 1,000 words and mine are only 200, you've still created more content ultimately, and that is something that Google can see. So how relevant is it to what we're trying to rank for? How well is it produced? Does it have latent semantic indexing, which is one of the metrics that Google uses? All of this sort of stuff kind of comes together to put you in a position that either ranks you better or worse than your competitors. And one of the things that's done really good is because of this process. We basically took a brand new website to ranking quite well for being the hell is he a personal trainer up here in Vancouver. So yeah, his website actually got wiped out because of a disagreement that he had with the person that produced his website. Never a good person to kind of have a battle with. Lost his website basically. We had to rebuild him from scratch, and we're using this because he had literally years of content that was wiped out. And so to rehire somebody to recreate all of that content would be exceedingly expensive. And because of this, this has been a far more efficient use of his money and time. And so the purpose of this really is to increase the marketing efforts that you already have. So one thing that this doesn't do is conversion content. So you still need a copywriter to actually sell something, right? But if you're just writing articles about something for the purpose of ranking, this is a fantastic solution to that, because you can just get way more for your money, right? And the investment for this is, and this is kind of one of the things I was getting at. So a typical writer, and I talked to one yesterday, he usually charges in the neighborhood of $250 to $450 per article for about 1,000 words. So we're doing about 1,000 words for $200, but you get 3 of them. So if you do the rough math, that's about just under $70 per article, and that's what our wholesale will be. So if anybody's actually interested for their business, I'll give you guys the wholesale rate, and that's pretty much what we're going to charge for the wholesale. So we'll probably charge in the neighborhood about $100 per article. So it works out to about $300 for 3. But in this case, we're going to do 3 for 200. And so yeah, so that's what that is. And so as I was mentioning, if content is a weakness in your business right now, this is a really good solution that's cost effective, that's going to pretty much guarantee to be valuable, rankable content to your website, right? And I mentioned the 3 pillars of SEO, right? So if you need if you need to fix the basics of your website, we have an AI that actually goes into your website, fixes all of those basic issues. So like H1 tags and meta tags and all of these small fixes that everybody has to do all the time, what is basically known as technical SEO. The content writer obviously is the solution for content, and we have a really powerful system to supplement this for backlinks. So I've mentioned before that we have news SEO, so that gives 400 plus news backlinks to your content every cycle, and you could do that up to 4 times a month. So potentially you could have 1,600 extra backlinks to your website every single month if you wish. And so when you couple these things together, you really start to dominate the rankings and the keywords that you're looking to rank for through this process. And so we've basically created a quote unquote domination package for service-based businesses for this purpose. So I'm personally going after roofing companies for this reason. They've got a really high ticket item. And we have some powerful technology, this one included, that will actually destroy any of their competition. So yeah, that's the end of it. If you want to contact us, so I need to fix that spacing. But yeah, Bryce Wade at bryce.wade@mindofmarketer.net. And yeah, let's have a conversation. So thanks for your time.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you show us an example of stuff that has been produced using this tool?
I can't right now because we just spooled this up a couple weeks ago. So I can get you a couple examples for sure.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I guess the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that guy's website is not up yet. The one that you produced the.
It is, yeah. So I can. That's what I mean. That's what I was going to show you. I'm just going to give you his website and say this is all written content. But I can't remember what it is, so I don't have it on me right now.
Okay. Yeah, when you can share that, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
Bryce, quick question. Like in your process that you outlined, you mentioned that there are 2 AIs and a VA, right? So is there a possibility of kind of getting rid of the VA and making it a pure AI process?
No, because what the VA adds is the research aspect. So the AI can't do research, right? So you have to give the AI stuff to work off of to really build it in the proper way that's going to rank well. and plus you have to do editing, right? So there's still gonna be something that doesn't read properly or doesn't make sense, or when the ink for all looks at it and says, hey, this isn't good, you need to rewrite this. Basically, the VA is what actually does that. So the first AI, Jarvis in this case, isn't able to do that without some user input. So this can't be automated 100%, but that's where the value of the VA and our process comes in, is that if you were like, you could do this yourself, like what ink for all is, what Jarvis is, you could foreseeably do this yourself, but is it going to be cheaper for you to do it or for me to do it? It's 100% going to be cheaper for us to do it because we have a process and a VA. So that's why we're kind of offering it that way. So to answer your question, no.
I have a question. What verticals does this work for? What industries would this be really, are you looking for, or just in general? Are the ones that you're looking for, which would this apply for the best?
It's agnostic, because one of the things that's in this process is we look at what's already ranking well. So let's just use it because Audrey's here. I'll just use lawyers as an example. A lawyer needs consistent content because you have a million other lawyers that are trying to rank for the same thing, conceivably in a city, right? So if you and like I was saying, SEO is a game of inches. So if you were in a very difficult niche to rank for, this is something that would work really well, because it's going to look at what's already ranking really well and build something similar and then make even more of it than what your competitors can do. So if you leverage this, so you take the aspect of the content creation itself and then connect that to our other programs that are basically powering the website up with backlinks. You put the two together and it really has a dominating effect.
So are you working with like solo practitioners, small business owners, large enterprises? What are you looking for right now? Because I don't know, because I work with a lot of solos. They may be too small for this. You tell me.
So the personal trainer that I was mentioning, he is a solopreneur essentially, and we took him when in the original SEO that we did, we took him from, I think he was doing about 60K a year, which is pretty average for most personal trainers, and he was doing about 120, 130 after working with us for about a year, because we dominated the SEO for what he was trying to rank for so well. So it really depends, but I would say, like, if it's a solopreneur that's looking to rank for something, yes, this would be a really good solution.
In mind that can call you next week. So my question is, how do you work this? Do you interview somebody, tell them, these are, they tell you these are the ideas that I want, then you go out and write the articles? Like, what's the process?
Yeah, exactly. So we need the main thing that we need is the keywords, right? Because this is what we're going to use to rank for, right? So every part of every product that we sell, the first step is always keyword analysis. Because if you tell me, hey, I want to rank for these 5 keywords, and it's like underwater elephant water polo or something, nobody cares about that because that's a keyword that's very long and nobody's looking for, right? But if you also tell me, I want to rank for tires, well, sorry, that's just not going to happen, because good luck, because you're going up against like Goodyear, Firestone, and stuff. So what we always do is we take a look at the keywords that are relevant to your business, and then you tell us which do you want to rank for, and then we build content and a strategy to that.
Now, what about the languages? Is it like, I mean, to me, this is so mind-boggling. Is it English? Is it American? I mean, because I've tried to work with some copywriters that might have been foreign. I can't even tell you the shit that I got.
Oh, I believe you.
Now, okay, so that route didn't work. Then I tried to work with domestic.
Mm-hmm.
That was like shit plus, not total shit, but not great. Because I think that if you're not in the pulse of a particular city like New York or I mean, this culture, there's so many other things that come that stand in for writing. So how do you navigate that?
So the short answer is there's some things that are going to be applicable to everywhere, because English as a language is, fairly flexible, but fairly general in a sense as well. Because so the language for a lawyer is going to be different than the language for a roofer, right? But because of the process that we use, we're going to be basing what we're building off of what's already ranked really well in that space. So part of our research is
I'm so excited about this. I cannot. I'm like beyond excited. I know I have a client of mine. We talked about this literally. You must have been a fly on the wall. curious, like you must have hacked my call and don't know what to do. Because I've got somebody that's she needs to do article writing and she doesn't have the time for it. Most of her business comes from SEO, and she hasn't gotten a lot of SEO recently, and she doesn't know why. So would you be able to kind of look at her site, look at what's missing in SEO, clean that up, and then write articles?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we can do is I'll give you my email address. Shoot me an email, and then I'll get the information necessary, and I can just start the process, and we can do some keyword research for her, and then go from there.
Oh, can you put your email in the chat?
Yep. Yeah, give me 1 second.
And how about a phone number? Is that such a thing anymore? Am I
yes.
being like historic that I'm asking for a phone number? But today to ask for a phone number, it's like you're going into somebody's personal, who the heck knows what.
And Rochelle, you can also look Bryce up in trustref.net on the site under Mind of a Marketer.
Yeah, here
And,
actually.
I have a question.
Yep.
If I'm doing a volume of writing, it's sort of two questions. One, I think if you're writing about somebody's event for their blog and it's very specific to them and their company and the event, it's probably less relevant than if I'm trying to rank for content strategy, right? Yep. Which would be a more general article. The second comment is, if I'm doing this in volume for me and my clients, can I have my own VA as part of it and just use the AI portion since I have my own workflow?
Yeah, conceivably. So like I'll be really honest with you, because we're the TRN here. If you could probably set this up yourself with your own VA, because I've basically already told you the AIs that we use. I'm not really keeping that a secret here. Like the secret sauce that is really part of this is that we have a VA that we hire to do the research and the editing aspect of it, and they're really good at it. So yes, you could honestly like offer this as a program yourself, to be honest.
But those two pieces of AI are not yours, or is one of them yours?
No, neither of them are ours. We just use
All right,
both of
good.
them and put them like so. And a secret sauce for us as a company is Mind of a Marketer, where the company comes from, is my business partner. He's really good at finding technology and putting it together in a way that even the creators of the technology didn't really think of. So he's basically created this process, being like, well, if we took this here and we took this here and we added in this aspect, and what would that do? And then here we go. It's really pretty impressive.
So
yeah, Keith, also, I mean, since Mind of a Marketer is white labeling this, and you could white label it, have them do the work with their VA, because obviously it's streamlined already, and then mark it up for your client.
Yep.
See how that goes.
And we could probably hybrid too, right? Because we're always trying to do workload balancing, right? And I've got to keep people busy, but I also have to manage overflow, right? So it could be a really great partnership. And we also have people that we have writing about specific events that, you interview their head of marketing or the person who's the speaker, and that's a different kind of process. So we got to blend the two of those together.
Yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
But no, then I just was going to close with, based on what you showed me the other day, you combine this for the keyword volume with the backlinking, and you've got a home run.
Yeah, exactly. And what I was going to say is that this wouldn't work for doing like an interview type, because this is based on like ranking for articles, right? So it bases that what we write is based on the research that the VA does that is looking at what's already ranking really well. So one of our so we have another AI that I don't even talk about because it's not as really relevant to everybody, but we have an actual AI that instead of going and doing what we think Google is going to rank for, it actually looks at the top 10 positions and what they're already ranking for, and then does an analysis.
I'm gonna hang on 1 second. Somebody's not on mute.
Yeah, there we go. So this AI basically does an analysis of the top 10 positions for that particular keyword. So let's say I wanted to outrank Goodyear for tires. So it would go and do an analysis of those 10 websites and say, what are all the things that are ranking really well, and what should I do on my website, and gives me recommendations to go and do that. That's a really expensive process, but we've taken a kind of a how do I say this, a more manual approach to doing something similar for content and not the actual ranking purposes. So this AI would be like italicize, this keyword and add 10,000 word articles, or do all of these different things, right? So this is kind of a small segment of that idea, but does it specifically for content for that keyword.
Well, I'm excited to meet with you guys on Friday, because I think what I have is a way to sell what you have.
Yeah, fantastic. That is on Friday. Cool.
I'm gonna have to, I can't stay on. Something came up, but I got a question. So you're using Jarvis, and what was the other AI that you're using?
It's called Ink for All.
Ink for All.
Yeah,
Now,
Gary
what do you do?
Kamen
You run it through Jarvis, then you run it through Ink for All?
So it's basically a 4-step process. So step 1 is doing the research. So you give us the keywords that you want to rank for. We do a bunch of research on what's ranking well for that. We feed that information to Jarvis, the AI. So the Jarvis AI basically creates that that content from scratch, or rewrites, or whatever the hell it does. It's an AI, right? And then we put that through Ink for All, and Ink for All actually does analysis and how well is this going to rank. So if we get a high enough score, great, we go to the next step. If not, we go and do a rewrite. So that's step 4, which is making sure that the editing is done properly, and that any rewrites that need to happen are done. And we do a read through. So that's to make sure that a human actually reads it at least once, and then it can be posted.
So I just wanted to Ink for All then just analyzes the content to see how relevant it is, and it just sort of analyzes it based on that. So if you say, here are the 20 keywords that we're looking at, it'll look at the content, say the score is X or whatever. Am I correct?
Yeah, exactly what it does. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna have to. What happened? I'm gonna have to sign off in a couple of minutes. So but this was interesting.
Yeah, well, feel free to reach out if you want to have a further discussion about it.
Outstanding. Well, I think you have several people's interest there, Bryce.
Yeah, and this was an accident. I wasn't even intending to sell this, because we were kind of just testing it. But the personal trainer that I mentioned, so he was basically like our first actual test of this stuff. And he's I'll see if I can find a screenshot. But he went up like 230 ranks in like a couple weeks or something ridiculous like that.
Super.
Yeah. Any other questions, or should we move on to introductions?
So everybody, Bryce's contact information is in the flow, in the chat flow, and if we want to go around and introduce ourselves and just catch up, I think most of us know each other. We were on the same call last week, except Rochelle, I think. But say who you are, what you do, and then what's got you interested. What are you working on this week?
I'll go first since I have to leave for.
Sure, Ken.
Ken Simon. I work with companies. What do I do? I'm trying to remember what I'm trying to sound like. All of a sudden, I work with companies to help them understand who their customers are, what their needs are, and then develop the strategies for them to use to go after those customers or markets. That could be anywhere from digital campaigns, email campaigns, website design development, product development, you name it, but we do a lot of, it's more strategy oriented, going after those customers. I'm in the process of just something I'm working on now, but I met someone, it's like funny, it's like I always thought before the pandemic, I was always like, let me just work only in the New York area because I don't have to travel that far. Well, after the pandemic, I realized I could talk to anybody anywhere and do work anywhere, which is something, it was sort of an epiphany. And so I met this guy through Lunch Club, this networking thing, and in London was now introducing me to a company in Australia. So I'm like, and it's involved with space, which is like my dream come true. So I may be working with rocket scientists for all I know, but that's something I'm working on right now.
Fantastic. Good luck with that.
Thanks. So that's it. I gotta leave, but anyway, I'm really glad I came on to hear what Bryce was saying, because I think I might be able to use it for something. I'm not sure what yet, but that definitely has potential.
Yeah. Let me know if you just want to do a test of something for yourself. I mean, it's $200, right? You'll get
Okay, yeah, no,
3,000 word articles.
That's not expensive, but anyway, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. I gotta go. Okay.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
Ken.
So, Rochelle, you want to go? You're in the upper left corner. Tell us a little about yourself and what are you working on? What's got your interest this week?
I'm always ready to. So I always say it's Rochelle, and my company's Dynamic Business Growth, and it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along business growth. And I want to focus on two particular areas. Number one is, when I say that, clients are coming to me recently because, they're working and they feel like they're working 8 days a week, and boy, do they have a hard day's night, and they don't know what's hitting them. And then they realize, finally help, they need somebody help, not just anybody. And I'm proud to say that they can imagine what life is looking like and business is looking like once they're back on track and they're in the offices, and we're trying to calculate and make that happen. So I'm working a lot with business owners that are trying to get people back into the office, and how are we strategizing the steps that are going to be needed to do that, and then, create stability in the company before we look at growth. That's one area. And the other area that I'm known for more so is, how do you speak about your business in a compelling way? How is it that when we come together for any kind of networking opportunity, and that dreaded remark, what do you do, comes up, and we don't get nauseous, and our tongue doesn't glue to our top of our mouth, and we actually say something is interesting. And I always say, when we talk about our business, are we storytelling or boring telling? So creating a lot of these dynamic business stories is where I've been doing a lot of work right now. And what I'm working on, aside from getting companies back to stability, because let me tell you, the headaches are pretty extensive. I'm looking to create an online group program, which I will be about my speaking concept. So I'm looking to do a beta in the beginning of September. So if anybody's interested or needs some information about it, please reach out to me, because I'm looking for 10 people to do a beta program.
Sorry, what's the beta program for?
Beta program is going to be, how do you speak about your business in a compelling way? And I call it, creating your ultimate power pitch. How do you stand out so that you're the clear choice?
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I'd definitely be down for that.
Reach
And I
out.
can, I'm happy to promote
I'm
that
in.
if you want.
I would love to. As I said, I'm looking for 10 people. It will be a 6-week course. So let me know, and, please reach out, and I'd love to have a conversation.
Yeah, let's add that to our agenda.
Sounds fascinating. You're signing people up already. I'm interested as well. Is it a one-on-one or is it in a group?
It's going to be a small group, pilot group, 10 people. And here's what I want everybody to know about. It's going to be a do it with you program, not a do it yourself. Because my thought is, if somebody could do it themselves, they would have done it themselves by now. And I think when we talk about, I have a lot of clear vision for somebody else's business, not my own. And I think we're all that way. You can be a great scholar for somebody else, but when we're dealing with our own stuff, we get emotional. So when emotions are high, intelligence is low. That's why we're so amazing with everybody else. And when I think when I come to myself, I feel like Edith Bunker, a dingbat. And when I deal with anybody else, all of a sudden I feel like I have genius quality. And I think we're all similar. So again, this is a program that it's going to be do it with you, not do it on your own. And it'll be a 6-week program over. So please reach out to me. And if you've got some interest, I'd love to talk to you about it. I'll put my email in the chat.
All right. Audrey, tell us about your law practice and what are you working on? What's got you interested this week?
Hey everybody, Audrey Glover-Dichter, Glover-Dichter PL, Advertising, Marketing, Promotions Law, and my 4 verticals from that is intellectual property, make sure you're not infringing or you need to file something to protect it, copyright or trademark. Also privacy law, 88 online compliance, and of course making sure that if you need help to get out of trouble, I help you get out of trouble by representing you in front of, I don't litigate, but I team up with litigators But like the NED or any of the self-regulatory bodies or the FTC or any state agencies that are doing the enforcement. What am I doing this week? I'm doing a few things actually. I am, what am I doing? I'm doing a new privacy policy for a new product. So that's pretty cool. It's a wearable tech, so there's a lot that goes into that, as you can imagine. Then there's also new business. They need new contracts, like how to. So I'm just helping the business, a new business, with their contracts. And then, of course, I'm going to start teaching advertising law at FIU this semester. So I've been diligently working on that syllabus. It's finally done. But, it's a work of art that's never done kind of thing. It's going to evolve as the class goes on. Really excited about that. So I start teaching this month, later on in the month. So, yeah, it's been keeping me busy. Not to mention my kids are keeping me busy. Summer's keeping me busy. So all's good.
Teaching is great, especially when you get to years 2, 3, and 4, and your syllabus is pretty much baked. And year 1 is really hard. I've been there.
Yeah, well, I'm waiting to get my access to Canvas to upload it, and right now I'm teaching master levels professionals in the marketing world. So I'm taking a law book that's written for law students and tweaking it, like jumping around as to what do they really need to know to try to make it more focused, because, I'm not going to turn marketers into lawyers. That's not the point of the class. So it should be fun.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
Rajiv.
Hi everyone. I do reputation repair and reputation management. A reputation management is essentially when a brand, organization, company, individual is looking to portray a certain image or persona online. We help them with that by providing relevant digital assets to support that objective. Those assets could include things like animated videos. It could be a nice looking website. It could be being seen prominently on key platforms like LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Google, etc. And then the flip side of that is if somebody is Googling themselves and does not like what they see as seen in the Google search result, we help by getting that stuff deleted. And that's the repair part of it. The name repair means that something isn't working and it needs to be repaired because it isn't working. So hopefully that's self-explanatory. But if it isn't, what that translates to is deleting bad press from Google and deleting bad reviews from Google, Facebook, and Amazon. And we do this because we are here to rescue those businesses and individuals that have been treated unfairly by haters and other groups online. And I just want to emphasize that this service is not intended to help, but it's not even designed to serve bad actors and let them get away with anything. It's basically only for those individuals, people, businesses that want to do what they do, which is serving amazing people like you. And that's why I do what I do. And I'm here because I want to learn more about what everyone does to explore synergies, because typically marketing partners like you either refer cases like this to me or white label what we do to their client. I'm fine with either. And that's usually the best case scenario for all parties concerned.
So without revealing any secrets or customer information, what are some of the cool things you're working on right now?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Like there's this developer that had an affair the wife found out about it, and then it's all a big mess. And it's kind of like stuff that you'd see on page 3 of the gossip column or tabloids, but it's real, and it's now someone's living nightmare. And there's a lot of stuff because of the high profileness of who he is, and now that's why there's a ever rising mountain of junk that needs to get deleted, which is, well, good news for me, but it's kind of like giving him cause for concern. But that's basically what we do.
I have a client who they have a public persona, and somebody out there is posting on Instagram a few times a week, disparaging things that are clearly lies, and even some threats. And they've gone to the FBI and they've gone to lawyers, and it's just not of a high enough threshold that law enforcement's going to get involved. And they're more concerned that taking an offensive approach, as long as it's at this level, it's probably not worth the effort and the potential downside risk. But they need to monitor that one Instagram account where these posts are popping up a couple times a week. Do you have a tool that you can recommend that would allow us to just monitor and know that something's been posted to an Instagram account and we can go look at it?
Yeah, I think there are several social listening tools that are out there, many of which are free. So,
well, the problem is they're all based on keywords, and while we can get most of them, this guy nefariously misspells some of the keywords that we're looking for. And it's,
well, I think you can kind of like pretty much set up the dashboard in such a way that it's monitoring this one account, and whatever pops up as far as activity related to this account will then be seen in that dashboard. So from that, I mean, if that is the intent, then yeah, that's something that
all we want to know is there's a change so we can go look at it. And if you have a tool you can recommend, I've searched high and low, and several of them have said, oh, it's based off keywords, it's based off hashtags.
Does that person post so much on Instagram that you couldn't just hire a virtual assistant to track it and let you know?
I'm trying to see if I can go lower than the price of a VA.
Oh, I see.
Quick question. Is this person posting disparaging information? Is that just a disgruntled client, a disgruntled employee, or is that person a competitor?
We don't know. We know that they've interacted with the company once, and in that interaction, there's no recollection of anything being wrong with what they're being accused of in this person's posts.
Okay, so so it was a past client, not a competitor.
It was a past visitor. Think of it more like a retail kind of environment.
You mean like a prospect?
It was somebody who came into the store, and we know that. I mean, there was a store event. We know about the store event. They registered for the store event, and that's the only time they ever interacted. And we've looked at that person. We cannot figure out where this is coming from.
So, okay, if you looked at that person, is that person that came in pretending to be, probably maybe a potential client? How about, has anybody done any research on
looks like
who the person is?
Or, looks like they're a little disgruntled, maybe a tad bit emotionally disturbed, which is why we're taking a very low-key approach.
Right, because I was going to say, if it's a competitor, there are rules against disparaging your competition. Yeah. So
sure. And
those are the rules. That's why I'm asking, because if it is a competitor, there are things you can do to shut it down.
Yep.
Is it possible that their competitor is paying somebody, this guy or person, to disparage?
It's possible, but I mean, really, this person's so random in what other things they post, and their followers don't. Their followers aren't connected to the rest of the ecosystem.
So weird.
He claimed that he was ill-treated at this one event, and we can't figure it out. So we just want to monitor it and see if it goes away.
Anybody ever consider hiring a private investigator, figuring out what's going on with that?
We're
Who
trying
this
to
person is?
see if we can let it go away first. If it keeps going, we're gonna the client has a crisis management advisor, and that advice right now is let's just see if it goes away on its own.
How long has this been going on?
About 2 weeks. And it does, he's not getting any engagement. His followership is like not in the ecosystem. We're also trying to do this monitoring anonymously. So a VA, if you have a VA service that you can recommend, I'd be open to that as well, because that may be the route we go. The technology doesn't.
All right, well, good luck, but think about the longer you let it go, the more likely the damage.
Background noise. I don't know who it is. It sounds like somebody's in an office.
Sorry.
Background noise.
Yeah, we actually have a VA company we're connected to. Keith Earl actually owns it. So if you're looking for a good source of VAs, we have some really good ones.
I would like that, please.
So am I. Okay.
Just
Yeah,
drop
absolutely.
it in. You want to drop it in the, it's you? Go.
Yeah, it's us.
Okay.
Yeah, it's where we get all of our VA power. Part of our company is reliant on VAs. But they're really good. So our secret sauce for that is that we hired them right out of like the STEM classes in the Philippines. So they're generally smart enough to like follow orders.
Yep.
And so the key to using VAs is you just have to have a really good SOP to say, this is what you do, then this is what you do, then this is what you do, and then they'll just go buck wild. That
would be a really good, I actually do some work with the Philippines. Michael, you go and then I'll go. We've got 10 minutes. Tell us about your vacation and what are you working on this week? I hope it's nothing.
I'm not working too much this week. I do have a couple of clients that actually some consulting clients that I'm trying to wind up, and the other one starts like the week I return. But still doing obviously selling on behalf of my teams, my software development teams. It just got a couple of inquiries actually through TRN, so that's great. One for a specialized financial services application, and the client only wants the back end, the algorithm implementation to be done with a domestic team. He's not so concerned about the front end, which is non-proprietary, but I'll probably hook him up with a domestic team, or maybe one that has enough resources onshore that they can do the algorithm and the proprietary work locally. So that's what I specialize in. It's finding the right team with the right skill set for the given job. And of course we do, I just got another inquiry for a very small website maintenance, but it's through an agency. So there's potential to, build upon that, even if we're doing just maintenance to start with for some of their clients. And out here in California, Northern California, first 5 days up in, Monday through Friday of this week, up in the Sierras, went hiking and the Big Tree National State Park and saw some huge sequoias, which was fun. So hanging out with family and my girlfriend's family right now. But I can, we do have Wi-Fi here, so connecting when I can. And so thank you all for joining, and thank you, Keith, for taking this on.
Oh, my pleasure. This is a great group, and I came through a pretty heavy time in the spring, and I wasn't able to attend, and I'm really redoubling my efforts here. So glad to pitch in, Michael. Thanks.
And I'll add one more thing. I had a meeting this morning with my team that's upgrading the website, and I'm very excited about where it's going. So, I'm not going to promise on when it's going to be, the upgrade's going to be released, because stuff happens, things get delayed, but it's a great foundation and they're doing interesting work.
I would like to connect when you get back. You got to go, Audrey? All right. See you. I have a set of worksheets, and they're all tabs in a spreadsheet. And it's the way I collect data from my clients to help them organize the information they need to stand up a content hub. And I would like to turn it into software. And I'd love to connect with you and see what your top level thought is, because I'm considering raising some money to build the software. I think we have a really unique niche that could create a high value software product.
Okay, yeah, just, grab some time on my calendar. Just grab a slot on my calendar starting the week of the 16th.
Is that in your signature?
It's in my, it's in my signature. Yeah, it says book a call with me, the trust ref one.
Yep.
Also in my newsletter at the bottom.
Excellent. So I'm Keith Reynolds, and marketing, it can be really messy. I'm working with somebody right now that spent over 80 grand and they have no idea what they're gotten from it. They use MailChimp and a lead funnel software and this and that, and the data's all over the place. And they started their advertising program with no content strategy. And what I do is, as a consultant and trainer, help companies develop their content strategies so they're ready, aim, fire. And in the last several months, I've migrated from consulting, where I'm getting, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, and I think I can get more for a consulting project, but they just don't come fast enough. So we're trying to go to a training model, and both of them are building off the movement away from agencies and towards in-house agency or in-house teams with a trusted network of freelancers. But that puts the onus on the company to have a strong strategy. And those worksheets that I want to turn into software are basically the information you need to collect. And we have 7 buckets that we work with you through. And the last one is ROI, so that it can get funded by the board, the CEO, or if you're the entrepreneur, you have a high sense of confidence that the incremental revenue you're going to get is going to be worth the expense of marketing. And so in September, I'm launching a Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn campaign to try and fill classes, either a cohort of individuals similar to what Rochelle, you were talking about, where we work with you to develop your content strategy, or that we have a $5,000 class to get a team working. And that's going to be our fall campaign. And I've been in the studio making some videos, one for each bucket. And then we're tying the idea that Walt Disney, Ariana Huffington, the CBS News, all of these companies have a vision. The thing that makes them successful is they have a system. And our clients have a vision. What they don't have is a system. And so our ad campaign is going to be showing these famous publishers and content creators and trying to connect the dots, similarly to how Apple did with the, here's to the crazy ones, to help people self-identify that this is what they want to be. We can help you get there. So that's what I'm working on.
Keith, so based on what you said earlier, in response to what Michael said about the software development, I think it might be, I know somebody that he calls himself a digital archivist. So I think it might be worthwhile to have a chat with him, because he might have like some ideas of how the data should be kind of, I don't know, structured or whatever. And then with that idea of how it should be organized, you could then, have a chat with Michael's team, who can then execute based, and I'm sure they would have ideas too. But I think between him and you and Michael, I'm sure you'll have like a great, app or product or something, or SaaS, that I'm sure will be pretty good.
Thank you. Well, we'll connect. I have your link here, and I'll get on your calendar, and we're coming up with 3 minutes to go. Michael, did you have any announcements that you wanted to tell everybody as we on our way out the door?
I think that's it. I mean, next week, of course, we're meeting on Tuesday morning. I've set it aside, so I do have free time, so I'll lead it. Bryce, thanks so much. That was fascinating. And would love to see that link when you have it, because I think that's, as I said, proof's in the pudding. People will read the stuff and say, yeah, this is pretty good for,
You did a great job today because
Bryce.
you created tons of curiosity. So job well done.
Yeah. So I'll have that to show everybody next TRN for sure. And I'll just send it to you directly as well. So that's probably what I'll talk about next time as well.
Wonderful.
All right, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day,
And
everybody.
Have a good
If you're
day.
interested
Thanks,
in knowing
Michael.
about
Enjoy the
this
rest of your
speaking-
vacation. No more work.
Yeah,
Reach
thanks
out
for
to
Rochelle
me if
something.
you're interested about the speaking program.
Rochelle, I already reached out to you, so hoping to hear from you.
Got it.
And
Yeah,
Rochelle,
book
let
a-
me
book
know
a
if you want
time
me to
with me,
promote it.
Rochelle.
If you want me to promote it in the newsletter, I could drop it in the newsletter.
I
So
will. I'll send you an email on that. That'll be great.
When does it
Thank you.
start?
I'm not sure. I'm still looking at getting people, probably early September. It'll be 6 weeks, 1 hour a week for 6 weeks. So again, reach out to me. I'll give you more detail about what it's about and so that you can get a clearer concept.
When we started the meeting, I sent you an email. And
Oh, okay. I'll
if
look.
you could just reply, put me on your list. I'm very interested.
Yeah, me
looks
too.
like you already have 3 clients.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, zippity doo dah. Now, pinky promise, double pinky promise. Each one will walk away with a real stupendous pitch because I love doing this. I just absolutely love it.
Wonderful.
Cool.
You
All
got
right,
a
everyone.
great night, everyone. This was a great meeting. It was intimate. It was great. We got to know a little bit more about each other. So I thought this was terrific.
Yeah, this was real good.
Thank you all for being part of it.
All
Yeah,
right.
thanks
Thank
for
you,
setting this up,
everyone.
Michael. Take care.
Take care.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
week.